It's been so long since I've seen her face. You said she's doing fine. Still recall a second rain. I would hurt so bad to see her cry. I didn't want to say goodbye. Send her my love. Memories remain. Send her my love. Roses never fade. Send her my love. Do mi sol la sol for ra ti do. No ti la do mi for mi re ti sol la. La do mi for mi re ti si la. La ti do mi sol la sol for ra ti do. Do re ti do re mi for mi re do ti do. So for me, for mi re do mi for so. Love for me, re do re ti do re mi for me re do ti do. So for me, for me re do mi for so. Love for me, re do. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, true, nor strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Recording in progress.
Hello.
A couple prompts here so you can start your video and unmute if you are ready.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
No, doing okay, thank you for asking. And yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Where are you calling from?
Just outside of Chicago, Illinois.
I gotta ask, how do you say your last name? I come from a Polish family, but I have to ask.
Swiercz.
Okay.
Hmm?
Gotcha. Alright. So, it is good to meet you officially, Jordan. So, basically, on today's call, we are going to dig into your singing goals, your struggles. I will hear you sing, and if it's something that I feel like Brev and I can help you with, I'll show you what that looks like, and then you can ask as many questions as you like, and we can decide together if it makes sense to move forward. Sound okay?
Yes, it does.
Alright. So, in your survey, you mentioned a little bit about your choir experience and everything. Just before digging in, just a housekeeping question. How did you initially find out about us here?
Social media, there was a post online where, again, I followed that link, and then that led me to you guys.
Very cool. And I guess what motivated you to book in the first place?
It's interesting. Again, the one thing that I feel like I haven't been doing lately is going and expressing myself in the most productive manner. You know, I do say, for example, YouTube, and YouTube only it's a void of any interaction, as it were. So that's the one thing that I'm looking for in that regard.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about your singing specifically and what you're struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned being self-conscious about blending. Tell me more.
It's interesting. I actually just came from a choir rehearsal last night, so it's the comfort in it of itself. I can go ahead and do so. And it turns out we'll have mass on Sunday where I'll be performing, which I haven't done in months on end. But it's just a concern. Like I said, you know, you can do the solo work as I have explained on YouTube. In and of itself, it's like nothing drastic, but you without any interaction of quality. I suppose it's just a really question of, you know, performing into the void is what it would be, you know, as a default.
Okay. So is this like an expressive, like you're wanting to be more expressive specifically?
It's interesting. What I want to do is I want to make sure that all aspects are tuned and ready to go. Like I said, I just returned to choir as far as last night, so it's interesting where I feel self-conscious in, yes, I can do so, and yes, I made it through the rehearsal perfectly fine, but do I tune myself correctly in order to, just like instrument tuning, do I make sure that everything is up to date and viable, as it were?
Sure. So you're saying that like last night was your first choir rehearsal in a long time?
Yes.
Oh, cool. All right, great. And good for you for getting back on the horse. How does singing feel getting back into it? Is everything easy? Is there tension anywhere?
It's interesting. There's a lot of sight reading, obviously. That you know, there was a book full. I handed a book full of music that we're going to perform, obviously, between this year and the following year. And it's like, you know, you read it about 3 seconds, and then you have to perform it up to caliber with the rest of a choir, as it were. And like I said, I've got that skill set, but it's a mental subconscious, as it were.
So it's fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to do, but yeah, it feels a little unsettling. Maybe, is that fair?
Sure.
Okay. So what? I guess I'm curious, based on watching our web class and everything. How do you think we can help with that?
It's interesting. Like I said, yes, I want to make sure that I'm a good choir member. That's a nice aspect. But aspect of making sure that I'm comfortable, let's say on stage as a solo artist, which that in and of itself is something that I really haven't gone ahead and done myself. I would be interested in making sure that everything is, like I said, back to instrument tuning, making sure everything is ready to go and presentable in that regard.
And, you mentioned that, like, YouTube isn't as, like, I guess, communal, I think is what I'm hearing. Are you interested in having any kind of social media presence with your solo artists, ventures?
Yes, it's interesting. Like I said, there's that aspect of ambition, as it were. As far as making sure that, like I said, I feel that I'm doing what I can, but I know there can be done a lot more, I suppose, in that regard.
What would make you feel like you have really come into your own as a singer? What would you need to accomplish to feel like you've made it?
Interesting. Like I said, having a good set of making sure, well, again, which will take place on Sunday, making sure that I'm comfortable in and of itself as a choir member, that's part of it. But making sure as a solo artist, that would be something that if I could go ahead and woo a crowd, as it were, that would be kind of the ambition in that regard, where as long as there's the steady consistency and there's not a hit or miss in regards, that would be something that I would appreciate.
Got it. And you mentioned, wanting to communicate with the audience. That's a great goal. And to feel, now, understandably, you might not get on stage and feel comfortable. There still might be these nerves, but at least you would feel comfortable knowing you know what you're doing. You put the work in. It's not an accident. Is that safe to say?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. So, what have you done so far to work on your singing? Obviously, you just joined a choir, so you are taking steps forward. What else? Do you watch YouTube videos? Do you sing by yourself? What are you working on?
Well, it's interesting. I've got a background as an audio engineer, so if there's anything that I want to write, for example, I go ahead and knock it out of the park. I have my own, let's call it, recording studio, and which means if there's anything original, I can go ahead and do. And between that, I'm to keep a social presence, I'm go ahead and do covers week to week, and that keeps me tuned as far as consistency is concerned. But like I said, if I want to write something original, I have the capacity to go ahead and place it out in the world. It doesn't mean I get an audience. That's the one thing I cannot guarantee. There's a very rare likelihood that too many people get a chance to see it, but the world has the option of viewing it, as it were.
Okay. And to feel that assurance, that comfort that you're doing things like that you're all tuned up, are there particular exercises that you do locally, or videos you've watched, things you've tried?
Well, again, I got my degree in music. The only thing I didn't do is get a master's degree in order to become a band director. That's the pathway I didn't unfortunately take. But I got 10 years of working in theater, so as an audio engineer, so I have that capacity where it's not where I planned to be, but it's somewhere in and of itself where I couldn't have imagined succeeding in that regard. So it's like, do I have anything that I really want to go ahead and say? I'm afraid it's not hitting the mark, but it's somewhere along the line.
And in our web class, did like the 4 pillars of singing kind of make sense in terms of setting a course, a path for you?
Yes, it does.
Cool. Okay. And so it sounds like that's what you're doing professionally as work, as audio engineer work with your music degree. Is that right?
That's right.
Cool. Very cool. Are you, do you like gigs as they come, or do you work for a particular place?
I used to work for a community college, and I did work for there for 10 years. Unfortunately, as a sad story, I got hit by an automobile, and then I didn't have the chance for my job to be waiting for me when I came back. So that's unfortunately the reality.
I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm really sorry to hear that. Okay. Well, what would it mean to you to feel like you could easily connect with the audience, whether online or in person, that you were being sought out to be heard with the songs that you're doing, and that you feel confident in your abilities? What would that do for you?
It in and of itself, it'd be pleasant. Like I said, it's almost a ambition, as it were. It's not something of a guarantee. It's almost an ambition more than anything else.
Sure. Are you looking to have that help to supplement income?
That would, ideally, supplemental would be a great start. If it could go further, that'd be, like I said, back to the ambition. But if it could definitely supplement income, that would be just tremendous.
And do you, right now, let me say first that whatever path, I can point you in. Sometimes it's us, sometimes it's not us. But just to get a general idea of what direction to point you in, I'm curious if you're in a place to be able to invest monthly in your singing. You mentioned having a studio already. It sounds like you've certainly invested in your music making.
Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, returning to employment, that's the ideal. So if I have that option of gaining income, that would be pleasant beyond explanation, really. So yes, the moment I have that opportunity to go ahead and have that available, I would certainly return that in that regard.
Okay. And in terms of you being able to put forth funds into your education first to get there, that's something you're able to do at this time?
Like I said, unfortunately, I'm at the moment unemployed, and that's the reality of the regard.
Yeah, of course. But this just helps me figure out where to point you next while you're working.
Mm-hmm.
On building back up. You gotta start somewhere.
Sure.
So I'd love to hear you sing, Jordan. I'll have you turn on original sound on your phone. I can help you with that if you haven't done that before.
Okay.
So, on the bottom of your screen, you might click my picture probably. Do you see the three dots that say more?
I'm afraid I don't see that.
It would be like after the audio button, the video button, so you have to make that generate first if it's not there, like by clicking on us somewhere.
Okay.
What are you seeing at the bottom of the
Oh, here we go. So I've got more.
Then go to settings,
Settings.
audio, and then turn on original sound.
Okay.
I can hear it. What did you want to sing, Jordan?
Let's go ahead. It's interesting. I have plenty of pieces that I wanted to rehearse in that regard, but I'm going to go ahead and let's go with the classic because, again, I'm stuck at the moment thinking key signatures and thinking I'm like a bit sharp. So let me go ahead and just go with. Let's go ahead and do. I apologize because again, it's just me panicking. But let me go ahead and do the national anthem and go straight into the Canadian national anthem.
Okay, I would love to hear it. And Jordan, no worries at all. I got you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the hearts we watched were so gallantly streaming on the rocket's red glare. The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts, true, north, strong and free, from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Nice. Thank you, Jordan.
Okay.
How did all that feel?
It felt fine. Like I said, it was almost a vamping of familiarity, but definitely something that I wouldn't even feel stressed in and of itself.